You are now watching a Lucky Penny Shop product feature. Here is a complete video of a maker set from start to finish. If you want to skip ahead to specific points in the video, then check the description below for skip times. Enjoy! Hey, it's Lucky Penny Shop, and it's time for the Sour Candy Factory from Scientific Explorer. And looks exciting on the box cover. Now, if you recognize the name Scientific Explorer, it's probably because we've done the bubblegum factory just recently. I did 2 different flavors in there, and then they also have the Tasty Science. Now this is the first one we did, and I did a few recipes and said I would get back to the other recipes, so look for those in future videos, and then probably do a couple more in this so we can get a better understanding of all 3 kits. But right now we want to see the Sour Candy Factory and read what it's all about. So let's take a look at it. It says, makes lollipops, gummies, sour powder, liquid candy, and hard candy. And learn the science behind candy making. This is a testing area. Look at that. He's pretty wigged out there in the bottom. Can you see his face? And there's some feet down there. Not sure what they're doing there. Wiggling, stinky feet. Let's flip it around. And there's some crossover now on these 2 kits, because this candy, I noticed, is on the box for this one, I believe. Yes, if you could see. So it's here and it's here. So there's a little crossover between the 2. So if we do this one here at some point, we won't have to do it with the other kit. So let's take a look at it. Make tart liquid candy. Lick super sour lollipops you make yourself. Make candy crystals you can eat. Eat squishy homemade marshmallows. Pucker up your friends with a sour challenge. So, looks like this is all sour. Nice big paragraph here. Let's read it. Get ready to pucker up when you make your own sour candy. How sour can you go? The kit includes star, heart, and sport molds, lollipop sticks, a dropper for liquid sweets, and 3 over-the-top flavors. You get sour grape, rockin' raspberry, and wild watermelon. Kit also includes corn syrup, gelatin, and citric acid. Wow. All right, wow. Let's see what's going on in here. Now, you can still get all of these online. They're still available. Let's take a look. And that is the bag of stuff. Just like the other 2 kits, it's all in a big bag, and you have to kind of sort it all out. Oh, they're in Ziploc bags. So are the instructions. Let's see. Okay, so this is the lollipop sticks. And then there's a mold. The sport one. Let's see if there's more than that. Oh, here's the other one. Maybe the other one's stuck to this one. Alright, well, we'll review that in a second. Let me just get it all out. Push it all on the table. Tools. Corn syrup, which is much softer than the last one. There's actually 2 corn syrups in there. Alright, here we go. And then the packs. Oh, look at all that. I like having a nice pile of stuff. So let me sort this all out. We'll decide on the recipes we're going to do, and we'll just go from there. Well, here we go. I have everything laid out for you so you can kind of see everything that's included with the kit. There's 2 bags of corn syrup. There is the 2 molds. I'll show you those in a little bit. The lollipop sticks, the pipette, and then the gelatin in the top row. And then over here we have citric acid and our 3 flavors, raspberry, grape, and watermelon. So let me just show you the molds real quick. This is the shape mold with the heart, the star, what looks to be a butterfly, and then a diamond. Okay? This one here is the sport one. There's a football, a baseball bat, a basketball, and it looks like a volleyball there, or a soccer ball. Okay, so that's that one. And then the instruction booklet. So I kind of was excited to try one particular type of candy, because I've never made it before. But let's just look at some of the introduction here. Welcome to the fascinating world of food science and wondrous fun. And a few words of caution here. And this is everything that came with the kit, and then everything you will need if you're going to make all the different recipes. And then different science facts. What is sugar? What happens when you heat a sugar solution? And this is stuff you probably want to read through just to learn more about the process. What makes candy sour? Cooking sugar to make candy, And it looks like all the different stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, all the way to stage 6, which is where we need to get to, because I wanted to do this first. Sour hard candy lollipops. And here's what we need from the kit, and here's what I need to get, which I have. I'll have to set up my burner and my little pan here to start cooking some things. Here's everything I need to do. And then there's a bunch of lollipop lore, so maybe I'll read some of that as it's cooking. Little history there about the lollipop, when it was invented, and then it goes into marshmallow. So let's just at least, let's try to get through this one first and see how it goes. So now I need to set everything up and we'll come back and get started. Well, here we go. I am ready to make the sour hard candy lollipops. I did some prep here, so we'll go over that. I have my electric stove here with a pot on top. And then the stuff I needed to bring in for the kit is the half-cup sugar, 1/8 cup of water, which was 2 tablespoons, the nonstick cooking spray, which I have off to the side here, medium saucepan, spoon, and the food coloring, which is in the back, so we won't need that just yet. And then the stuff that comes with the kit was 3 tablespoons corn syrup, so I have that scaled out, and I did spray this with cooking spray, everybody, so thanks for all the great cooking tips and baking tips. 1 teaspoon of flavoring. I decided to do raspberry. I have that one ready to go. 3/4 of a teaspoon of citric acid. So I haven't scaled that one out, but I have a bowl, and we'll do that as this is cooking here. And then lollipop molds and sticks, which are down here. So step 1 is prepare the molds. So let me do that. So I just spray them. Now I did wash these already, so they are washed. So quick spray. And then I will just put the sticks in. That's all it said. So they are ready to go. I guess you want to be ready when you have that hot liquid to pour in there. Okay, so those are set. Let me put those in the back here out of the way. And then the next thing is these 3 ingredients, which are all set to go. So let me turn this up a little bit here. And let me put in the corn syrup. So we'll see how nice this comes out, everybody. It's been sitting a little bit, but as you can see now, it does slide out really good. So I might have to nudge it a little. Let me do that. There you go. Okay, and then 1/2 cup of sugar. And then the water. The heat is on. So as this starts to heat up, I'm just going to incorporate it just a little bit. It doesn't want you to keep mixing it. It's just supposed to cook off to the side and get up to 300 degrees, it said. So we will get that started here. Okay, that looks like it's all nicely mixed so we don't get any burning on the bottom. We don't want just the sugar sitting on the bottom. Okay, so I can leave that now. I will be adjusting my temperature here off to the side. There's a little temperature thing down here which I can turn, so I want to be careful with it. Right now it's on low, so it's something I have to still adjust with. So the only thing I need to measure out then, this is ready, the raspberry, is the citric acid. So while that's starting to percolate here, as you can see, I will cut this open and measure this out. So this was 3/4 of a teaspoon of citric acid. See if I cut enough. Let me cut the whole top of this off straight across. This way I can get my measuring spoon in there. Break it up a little bit. Had some lumps going. I'm already starting to get little bubbles there, so keep an eye on that for me, would you? Let me know if it's going too fast there. So 3/4. There's 1. Do you count out loud 2 when you're measuring? There's 2, so you remember what you've done. There's 3. Okay, so that's 3/4. And I can go here. Now let's just look at the recipe a little bit here. Okay, so it says combine the sugar, corn syrup, and water in a medium saucepan over medium-high heat. I can maybe go up just a little bit here. And then allow the mixture to boil without stirring until candy reaches 300 degrees. If you do not have a candy thermometer, you can check to see if it has reached this stage by dropping a little of the molten syrup in cold water. If ready, it will form hard, brittle threads that break when bent. Caution: to avoid burns, allow the syrup to cool in the cold water for a few moments before touching it. So once the candy reaches 300 degrees, remove it from the heat, stir in the flavoring of your choice and citric acid. Spoon some of the candy to the lollipop cavity of the mold. Make sure the back of the stick is covered. I'm just kind of writing all through, but it doesn't say add the food coloring. It just says flavoring and citric acid. So I'll probably add the food coloring in then. It doesn't tell you in another spot. So allow candy to cool completely and remove once hardened. Optional. Dribble hard candy on foil to make squiggly designs or write your name. I guess if you... Ooh, there we go. We're getting some boiling going on there. So that looks like it's going pretty good. So lots of lollipop lure. Sweet Tooth Sour Truth. Let's read some of that. In 1519, the Aztecs of Mexico introduced Spanish explorers to cocoa, from which chocolate is made. Because sugar was unknown to the Aztecs, different spices, including hot chili peppers, were used to add flavor. All right. Sweet Tooth Sour Truth. In the best-selling Harry Potter book series, Albus Dumbledore, the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, is extremely fond of lemon drops. Ooh. National Lollipop Day is celebrated on July 20th. All these little tidbits. So let me get this in here so you can watch that. So that's got to go all the way around to the 300. Looks like my temperature is good here. We're getting some good bubbling. And then we'll just let that go. So what I'll do now is I will check back in get a few more things cleaned up, wipe this down because I do have a little cooking spray on here, and we'll check back in. Okay, I am back. We're at about 200, just under 220, as you can see. It's a slow process. You don't want to rush it and try to cook it real fast to 300 because then you'll burn it. So what I'm doing is I'm just watching it go, and if it doesn't move much, then I'll just go up a little bit on the heat to slowly bring it up to 300. I have my two dry ingredients here, the citric acid and the raspberry flavor. I brought in a spoon, a piece of foil like they said, and I have a hot pad. So I'm just going to keep checking back in with you. It's kind of neat to see it boil, so maybe every time I talk, I'll just let it go for, say, a half a minute so you can watch it. All right, how's that perspective? I just kind of like watching all the bubbles popping, so I'm going to let that go a little bit. I'll keep checking back. We're at about 260 right now. So what I'm having to do is tilt my pan up just a little bit. Put my temperature further down into the hot sugar there. And then getting a good reading, and then I take it off and then let it go a little bit, and we're getting there. So I'll keep checking back. Right now, I'm just going to let this go a little bit and let you enjoy watching the bubbles. Again, if you don't like watching stuff like that, look in the description. We give you a really nice timeline of each part of the process so you can skip to anything you want to see. All right, so don't forget, if you want to skip, look in the description. Okay, we're almost there. I'll be taking it off the heat very soon. We're between 280 and 300 right now. So I'm going to do another quick reading here, and we'll check back. I'm going to let it go just a little bit here so you can watch it. If it looks a little dark in there, just because of the lighting, but it's still nice and pretty clear. Alright, I am all set to go. I have going to turn it off the heat now. Let me get my candy thermometer out of the way. Heat is now off. I'm going to move it to the hot pad, and then I'm going to mix in the other ingredients. So let's get this out of the way. We're done heating now, so we don't need that anymore. And then we can get in here now and do the next steps. So it looks nice, got a good color to it. And I will mix in the first one, the citric acid. And then now the flavoring. Now it didn't say to put the food coloring in here, but this is where I'm going to actually put it in. I'm going to do a little bit of red. There we go. One more. Now, of course, if you want to use different food colorings or natural food colorings, I'm sure you can. Let me check that. Didn't like my spoon. Let me switch to another spoon. Okay, there we go. Now it said spoon it in, so I'm going to actually get one of my other spoons here. My plastic one had a fate, you know, it kind of ended its plastic life. I don't know if you noticed that. Alright, so let's just put this back there. My foil's ready. I'll spoon this into my molds. And I'm going to use one of my little metal spoons this time. That was kind of funny. Let's see, here we go. Remember, these were sprayed. Doing in just the butterfly first. All right. The heart. Do my diamond shape. And then the star. Okay. Ooh. This is hot. I'm going to put a little bit more on top of this one here to kind of cover my stick a little bit better. It's going over, but you know, we'll have to live with that. So let me move this one out of the way. Move this one in. And I'm going to switch to another tool here because that one is just too hot. There's little strings of sugar. I don't know if you see them. Looks like hairs. Those aren't hairs. That's sugar. There we go. Oops. Over the stick there. So let's see. What does it say? How long does this sit? Allow candy to cool completely and remove once hardened. So I'm going to have to let this sit. There is a ton left over. So what I might do is grab some more molds that I have. See if I can use those. But I made all the candy here now. Okay, there we go. Got some overspill there. So I'm going to check back. Here, well, let me sprinkle some on the paper in the back. Let me get these out of the way. It doesn't give you a time. It just says till they cool. So it says I can drizzle some here. Here was my spoon from earlier. It's stuck already. Let's do some drizzling. Another spoon here. Oh, wait, I got this one still here. Okay. Cool. So let me get a few more molds and we'll make some more candy with it. Why not, right? I got a bunch left. Hey, quick change of plans. I found my candy Twinkie mold and thought, why not just see if I can make one big lump of sugar? So I am going to pour it all in my Twinkie and see how much it fills up. Looks like it's going to do most of it. Get my scraper here. I got a couple spoons that I lost in my mix here. But that uses up the rest of it. I should be able to scrape more out. Let me take a couple things out of here. 1 spoon. All right. Well, I can't believe my plastic spoon melted. It was a hot spoon too, so I'm not sure why I did that. Alright, I think I can get just a little bit more here. I want to tilt it up while it's still soft. It said you can reheat, I guess, if you need to a little bit. That's the last of it. Alright, so I've made now a candy Twinkie. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to do my normal cleanup here, and we'll check back after I get everything set and it's dried. I am back. Here we go. I have everything pretty much set to go. This did take quite a while for it to harden up. It is pretty thick. And then there was some good overrun here where it started to go over the mold edge, but that's just it. I run with it. And then here's what I put on the foil. Let me see if I can take that up. Oh, that came off pretty easy. I didn't put anything on top of the foil. So that is one piece. Seems to crack like candy. Let's put that there. And then let's see if we can get these out of the mold. As you can see, I haven't attempted any of this yet. And here is the butterfly. Those came out as 2. I could probably clean that up a little bit and trim some of that, which I might do, but let me just get my shapes out first. Here's another piece of candy. And then let's try these. These all got connected. There is one of these sports balls. Look at that. Yeah, it looks kind of neat anyway. It worked, right? And I'm sure you're all anxious to see my giant Twinkie. That was easy. Look at that. It's my giant Twinkie candy. It's pretty hard. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm just going to kind of look at it, I guess. Let me see if I could take a little taste here. Now, it probably hasn't fully 100% cured. It breaks off like candy. Let me put it in and give it a taste. It has raspberry flavor, but I'm going to say it's not very strong, and it's not very sour. So if I was going to do this one again, I would probably double up both the flavor and the sourness. But look at that. Here, let me get a tool here and see if I can clean this up. I'm going to have to check right back in. Okay, I had to grab my scissors. I like using scissors for stuff like this. Let's see if it cuts okay. Yes. So that chipped off really good. So you can come by now and clean up your shapes. And eat the scraps, don't forget. Look at that, see? I'm still eating that piece of candy. I'm going to say the taste is okay. It's not like a Jolly Rancher or something you would buy in the store. It definitely needs a lot more flavoring. Look at my mess. Let's get a close-up of what we have so far. Let me zoom in there for you. Whoa, too fast. Sorry about that. So overall, look at that. That is one dark, solid, hard Twinkie. I might have to like chop that up and see if I can make cotton candy out of that so it's still useful. Let me clean up around my butterfly here. Okay. And then this was the diamond. There you go. So overall, I didn't clean them all up, but you can see now it's easy to get the shapes right. And thanks for watching. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm not going to do another one in this one because this video ended up being about over 20 minutes, almost a half hour. Not sure yet. I'll find out when it's all edited down. But that was the first part of the Sour Candy Factory. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. I had fun doing it, and I was excited to make my first hard candy. And I'm going to say it was a success. I would just probably double up on the flavor and double up on the sour because it didn't really taste like a Jolly Rancher or a hard candy that you'd normally taste, but it was still something to eat. And thanks for watching. It's really appreciated. You want to see more makers? Check in the description or search our channel. Later. If you want to find this item, click the link in the description area below the video. You can also watch more videos in this series by clicking here. Thanks for watching. And always remember, if you see a lucky penny, pick it up.